Videos are made for many different reasons. Most of the time, a video is made to capture some moment in time so that it can be revisited, such as weddings, family reunions, and any other type of event when something's happening or is memorable and you don't want to lose those memories forever. However, sometimes the camera picks up bizarre things that aren't probably meant to be caught. And sometimes creepy and terrifying things happen to those who are in the process of filming something. With that in mind, join us as we take a look at the 5 creepiest lost tape videos which were found. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Last known footage of man lost in French catacombs. Long before the footage that you're about to see in the video went viral online and gained notoriety, it was actually part of a documentary which aired on multiple TV networks in the early 2000s. In fact, there was a Halloween special which was called Scariest Places on Earth on the ABC Family Network. The film, directed by Francis Friedland, included some of his original camcorder footage, which was shot in some vast and ancient catacombs underneath Paris in the early 1990s and was included in the original documentary which aired on TV. The original footage was created by an unidentified man whose old camcorder camera was allegedly discovered many years after some tomb explorers found the camera caked with mold and dust laying inside one of the passageways of the catacombs. The video itself appears to show a man who's journeying deep into this maze of catacomb tunnels underneath the streets of Paris. The scary thing about this is that this lone explorer is seen discovering thousands of piles of human bones and remains that appear to be left untouched since they were laid to rest. A lot of people who live in Paris don't even know that these Parisian catacombs lay beneath Paris, which is a vast network of tunnels and rooms as long as the city streets above them. Most of these places haven't even been explored. For some people that do know a little history about this place, it's rumored that the gates of hell can be found within this morbid maze of tunnels. For reasons unknown in the 17th century, the city's cemeteries became too full and couldn't accept any more of the dead. Millions of bodies were piled up inside of these catacombs underneath the Paris streets. When viewing the footage, the explorer stops to film bones that have been arranged into arrows that point down some of the narrow passageways. He then films some signs that have been painted on the walls. One of these paintings is a haunting human figure, which has been painted in white with its arms and legs spread. After about 40 minutes of the footage, the person begins to walk much faster. And then, for some reason, he begins to run as you hear his breathing get louder and louder. In the footage, you can tell that he's frightened as he sometimes pauses trying to decide which way he should run. The video shows him running faster and deeper into the catacombs until he finally drops the camera and runs away, leaving it behind. Many people have tried to find other clues about this videographer, but say that he may have become lost and actually died in the depths of the catacombs. His camera left where it was found continued to film until the battery died. This still remains a mystery today. Number 4. High school murderer's video diary. This next story is quite horrifying and frightening, so don't say we didn't warn you. On the night of September 22nd, 2006, this story begins as 4 teenagers decided to get together and watch a movie. Cassie Jo Stoddart and her boyfriend Matt and 2 of their friends, Brian Lee Draper and Tori Michael Adamsick, were going to meet up with Cassie, who was house-sitting for her aunt. When the 4 were together at Cassie's house, Brian and Tori then decided that they wanted to go to a theater and watch a movie there instead. They left Cassie and Matt at the home alone. At one point, and for reasons known at the time, the electricity in the home was lost. However, Matt says that the electricity came back on shortly before his mother picked him up from Cassie's aunt's house at 10:30. The creepy thing about this is that Brian Draper and Tori Adamsick never went to the theater. Instead, the 2 were lying in wait, and they confessed to purposefully shutting the power off, probably to get Matt to go home. They then entered the house and stabbed Cassie 29 times, of which 9 of those wounds ended up being fatal. The interesting thing that was revealed in the investigation was that Draper and Adamsick recorded their plan to murder Cassie on a videotape while they were in school. The thing is, Cassie had done nothing wrong to Brian and Tori. It wasn't any kind of revenge killing or anything remotely like that. When the 2 were arrested, they simply blamed each other for the murder. Brian said that he was in the same room with Tori as he stabbed Cassie, but denied that he himself had stabbed Cassie. However, later he confessed that he stabbed Cassie under the commands from Tori. But the question remains, why did these two stab this girl? Well, it turns out that Brian was impressed by Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, who were involved in the Columbine High School massacre. Not only this, but Tori Adamsick was inspired by the horror film Scream. Another bizarre thing about this case is that after they had murdered Cassie, they apparently recorded another video of themselves talking about how good it felt to murder her. The two are currently serving life in prison without parole. Number 3. Lost Alfred Hitchcock Nazi concentration camp footage. Alfred Hitchcock is known by many to have been the master of suspense. He's a man who's responsible for perhaps some of the greatest films ever made, and although he was nominated as Best Director on 5 different occasions, he never won any Academy Awards. Alfred Hitchcock directed 52 films. But Alfred Hitchcock had done more filming at the time and was working on a documentary on German concentration camps called German Concentration Camps Factual Survey, which was a propaganda picture made back in 1945 that ended up sitting on a shelf for 70 years. When it was found by the Imperial War Museum in London, they had the footage restored. The footage of the film confronts the face of death like nothing you will ever see. The hollowed-out cheeks of people ravaged by hunger and sickness, blank, empty eyes of emaciated corpses, and even the open mouth of a man who is drawing his last breath. The footage was filmed at Bergen-Belsen concentration camp and provided damning evidence of the Nazi atrocities. But it wasn't just a film about the horrors of the Holocaust. Alfred Hitchcock's Factual Survey offers a message about the resilience of the human spirit, even in the midst of despair and devastation. The film has long, silent shots showing Allied soldiers forcing Nazi SS officers to carry the bodies of those people that they have starved or killed. Some of the footage shows bodies being tossed onto the backs of trucks, and others being thrown into pits which look like matchstick dolls. On the sidelines, high-ranking German officers are made to witness the scale of the tragedy. In some of the footage, they can be seen staring at their shoes. Every director filmed things differently back then and had their own trademarks, and the long, panning shots were courtesy of Alfred Hitchcock's direction. Hitchcock actually worked on the film as an advisor, ensuring that no one would accuse the filmmakers of manipulating the footage. This lost footage shows the devastation that the liberators found from the concentration camps Bergen-Belsen, Buchenwald, Majdanek, Dachau, and Auschwitz. The film also shows freedom finally coming to tens of thousands of Holocaust victims. Number 2. The Genocide School video. A very disturbed and angry man by the name of Jared Lee Loughner made a video as he was strolling through his college campus. Apparently, in the video, he's heard chuckling maniacally and talking to himself about a genocide school. After he made the video, he went back to the school and ended up killing 6 people, leaving more than a dozen others wounded during a shooting spree. In the 3-minute 52-second video, his crazed rambling begins with the eerie sound of his footsteps as he approached the building after dark. It's not clear who he's talking to or who he thinks is gonna actually see the video, but he explains what he's about to do. From behind the camera, he states that we're going to examine the torture of students. As Jared is walking through the campus, he runs into someone he knows and shouts, "How's it going? Thanks for the B. I'm pissed off." At this point, he's apparently talking about a grade that he received from one of the teachers. The creepy thing is that he then laughs under his breath as he walks away without waiting for any response from the person. He then continues on talking about he's lost his freedom of speech to someone, and this is what happens, and that he's in a terrible place. There's no doubt that he was in a terrible place, but the place was obviously in his mind. Apparently, Jared had some problems with the campus police for classroom and library disruptions. He blamed the school for making him homeless in one part of the video and continues to ramble on about freedom of speech. He also mutters something about an external and internal universe and how teachers are illegally paid. This video was actually banned for quite some time until it was finally released in 2011. Some say that if you watch the video, it contains some disturbing footage. Another bizarre thing is that investigators who were searching for evidence say that they found photos of the 22-year-old Jared Loughner that were developed on the day of the shooting, and said that the photos showed him posing with a handgun and wearing a red G-string. Number 1. Bjork Stalker's Video Diaries. A man named Ricardo Lopez, who's also known by the media as the Bjork Stalker, began filming himself on January 14th, 1996. He ended up recording from January to September of that same year about 18 hours of footage. That footage is also now known as the Ricardo Lopez tapes. Apparently, this footage shows his descent into complete madness, which was brought on by his obsession with the Icelandic singer Bjork. Many celebrities have stalkers, and these people are usually not sane or normal individuals. However, the ones who attempted to kill the object of their obsession are by far the worst celebrity stalkers. Ricardo Lopez was a pest control officer who couldn't control himself. He created some kind of acid dispensing device and mailed the package to the Icelandic singer. After he had mailed the device, on September 12, 1996, Lopez shot himself in the head while he listened to Bjork's cover of the 1941 love song, I Remember You. By this time, he had recorded roughly 20 hours of video, which was a diary of his madness and his obsession with the singer. Luckily, the package was intercepted and detonated without any incident or harm to the singer by the London Metropolitan Police. Police later found Lopez's body in an apartment where they discovered a message that was written on the wall in black paint, which read, "The 8mm tapes are a documentation of a crime. Terrorist material. They are for the FBI." Hope you enjoyed the video, Top 5ers. If you haven't already, check out our other channel, Americano, to enjoy even more amazing list videos. There'll be a link in the description, so check it out, as well as our other cool stuff